What, no love for Uncle Ian? Seriously, are we still talking about that?
Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host Jared.
And I'm Edwina.
And if you listen to this is our Once More With Feeling series on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And today, Eddie, we're doing Season 6, Episode 6, All the Way. Stephanie K. No one understands that reference. This episode first aired October 30th, 2001. Was that Halloween night? Maybe?
Yeah, funny about that, isn't it?
Written by Stephen S. Tonight and directed by David Solomon. Over to you, Eddie.
This is a full spoiler podcast. I'm a huge fan, but Jared has never watched the series all the way through, and I'm trying to convince him it's worth his time.
You are?
Yeah.
Still? Okay. And
well, the reason why this aired on October 30th is because it's a Halloween episode.
Yes.
Woo!
Love Halloween episodes.
Yeah, Buffy, they don't do a lot of Halloween. Considering it's a horror show, they don't do a lot of Halloween episodes. We get 3, and this is one of the 3.
Okay. Have we seen the other? We had the one where they turn into their things that they are?
Yeah, they turn into their costumes.
Costumes, yep.
And then there was the Fear Itself, which is the one with the little fear demon in the horror house.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
So both absolutely fantastic episodes. Now, this one is probably on the lower end of the scale.
Yeah, I'd say this one's definitely not the top of the tier of those ones.
Yeah, it's probably one of the, to be honest, it's probably one of the worst episodes of this season. Like there is an episode that people would probably debate is the worst episode of this season, but I like it because it's kind of campy.
Well, at least it goes back to its roots. It's got vampires in it.
This does go back to its horror roots. They even do the little subvert your expectations where you think the old guy's evil.
They really play into that, don't they? For a long time.
Yeah.
The sweet old evil man. He's got the knife in his hand.
And then he's
sinister.
talking about the weird accident at the factory.
Yes.
That wasn't my fault.
Totally unrelated.
Totally unrelated. Had absolutely, what is it, a red herring?
Red herrings, yeah.
Red herring.
Red herrings, misdirections.
Misdirection.
Yeah. That's his name.
Mr.
Direction.
Mr. Direction. Mr. Direction. As even saying this is not a great episode, you can't skip this episode.
Is that towards the end, is it?
Well, it's probably more a bridging episode because a lot of stuff that happens in this episode is a catalyst for other events throughout the season, and major catalysts for the rest of the season.
I can see it coming. Damn you, Willow.
But again, the main issue with this is that it is a Dawn-centric episode. It's sort of meant to be Dawn's coming-of-age episode. I think you even said to me, have they dolled her up a little bit? Like they're making her look like she's wearing more makeup or...
I don't know. She looked different this episode. Like I know she's pretty young, so I don't want to say anything too incriminating. I was kind of looking at her going... Because I'm trying not to go down that road. But, she just looked a little more attractive in this episode.
Okay, so they've quite deliberately, as you said, they've dolled her up a bit.
Yeah, they have.
Deliberately tried to make her look a bit more...
Mature, I think.
It's been a Dawn-centric coming-of-age episode, but it's also full of a lot of very uncomfortable moments that kind of make me... Like, I think when you had to... I think we watched this separately. And when you were watching it, I was working. And I had to, every time I heard certain lines or there were certain scenes, I'm just sitting there going, yeah, making Buffy's bourbon straight noise that she did from last episode. There's a few of those moments where you're just like, yuck.
I think it's supposed to be in there.
Yeah, I think it's the old guy going, Daddy's got a present. And yeah, any of the Dawn Justin dialogue, the kissing scene, it's all a bit...
all right. Well, look, Eddie, let's get into the summary and we'll get back to it.
All right.
It's Halloween and the magic box is bustling. The gang is tired after helping all day and Xander decides it's time to announce his engagement to Anya. While the group congratulate them, the gang decides to throw an impromptu party for the couple at Buffy's house. When someone mentions the lack of decorations, Willow uses a spell to fix it. Tara and Giles exchange worried glances over Willow's casual use of magic. Later, Tara tries to discuss Willow's growing magic dependency, but Willow brushes it off. Meanwhile, Dawn lies to Buffy about staying at her friend Janice's house, heading out with Janice and 2 older boys, Zach and Justin, for some mischievous Halloween fun. As the teen pulls pranks, Buffy and Xander share a drink at Buffy's, where Xander expresses doubts about his engagement. Buffy then decides to go out on patrol. Dawn and her friends catch up at the old man's house, where Dawn is grabbed by the old man attempting to smash his pumpkin. Instead of him being angry, he invites him inside. Justin offers to help him in the kitchen, but plot twist, Justin is a vampire and kills the old man. Back at Buffy's, Giles realises Dawn lied, and while he sets out to find her, Anya and Xander stay behind and Willow and Tara head to the Bronze. Zack steals a car and the teens split off, leaving Justin and Dawn alone, where Justin kisses Dawn, her first kiss, but soon reveals his vampiric nature. At the Bronze, Willow suggests using a spell to find Dawn, which leads to a heated argument with Tara, who criticises Willow's overuse of magic. Meanwhile, in Zack Stolen's car, Dawn feels Justin's vampire face as they kiss. Buffy, informed by Spike, grabs weapons to find Dawn. In the woods, Giles saves Janice from Zack, staking him after a brief fight. Dawn tries to escape Justin, who attempts to charm her into becoming a vampire. Giles arrives, and just as they are surrounded by vampires, Buffy and Spike show up. Buffy scolds Dawn for parking with a vampire, which leads to a heated exchange where Dawn points out Buffy's past with Angel. A battle ensues, and in the end, Dawn manages to dust Justin herself with a crossbow. The gang returns home, and Buffy leaves the task of reprimanding Dawn to Giles, who grows frustrated with Buffy's increasingly dependence on him. Meanwhile, Tara remains upset with Willow, who, instead of resolving the conflict, casts a spell to make Tara forget their argument. The end. Foreshadowing.
Yes. So, I might just start off with Janice before I get into the the talking points.
Who the fuck is Janice?
Because did you recognise Janice at all? Did she look familiar?
Not really, no. But she does have a bit of a career, though. What did I miss? I did have a look.
Yeah, Amber Tamblyn. So she was a bit of an it girl.
Amber Tamblyn, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, sort of the mid-2000s. She had her own show called Joan of Arcadia, and then she was in that hit movie series, The Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants.
Jesus, I've never heard of any of these fucking shows. I thought you were going to say she was like in Game of Thrones or something.
I thought you might have seen some of Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants.
Never heard of them. Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. That's a huge franchise.
Really? It's the first time hearing of it. Well, I don't know, maybe I recognise if I've seen it, but...
Yeah. But more famously, she's actually married to David Cross. Do you know who that is?
Oh, the comedian.
Yes.
Yes. Alvin and the Chipmunks, David Cross.
Arrested Development, yeah.
No, Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's where the kids know him from.
Yes, he's the bad guy in the Chipmunks movie.
He becomes a good guy in the end, doesn't he, sort of?
Oh, not really.
No,
He's still kind of a slimy music exec guy. You put me in a cage!
Does he try to exploit the chipettes, does he? Is that what he does?
He develops the chipettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right. he goes and tries to find a replacement. Sort of pits the chipettes against the chipmunks.
What, no love for Uncle Ian?
You put us in cages!
Seriously, are we still talking about that?
So this episode is an exploration of themes of adolescence, responsibility, and relationship dynamics. And this episode goes back to their horror roots, like I said before.
Yeah.
You know, and the Halloween imagery is a good use, or serves as a symbolic contrast between the appearance of hidden truths, much like the episode's plot. But at the heart of this episode, it's a Dawn coming of age episode where she's rebelling against her sister, pretty much, trying to find her own independence, I suppose, or out from under Buffy's shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the vampires as a metaphor for teenage angst.
Okay, yeah. Why
And
not?
the boys turning into literal monsters after a fun date, could be seen as a metaphor for the unpredictability of adolescence and growing up.
Okay, yeah.
And where everything can quickly shift from lighthearted to dangerous, which is very much what happens in this episode. It also marks Dawn's growth. This episode marks a step in Dawn's transition from child to young adult.
Mm-hmm.
She's starting
not a little girl anymore.
Yeah, she's starting to push back against Buffy and the protective barriers Buffy and the gang put around her, seeking to carve out her own space.
You're a little late. I steal all the time.
And, of course, what comes with that? The loss of innocence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Dawn's interaction with the vampires can be viewed as part of her loss of innocence. This moment signals her deeper immersion into Buffy's world of danger, making her less sheltered than before. So she's also a little less whiny in this episode.
Yeah,
She will start getting whiny again.
Did she steal something from the magic box?
Yeah, that's also a big plot point for the next.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For a number of episodes,
just
is her
thinking-
getting a little klepto on.
I noticed how they didn't refer to that ever again when she took that, and I was like, oh, okay, they must have forgotten about it or something.
No, it's been over a couple of episodes. You've seen her
Grab
like,
something.
stealing
Yeah.
stuff from the
Yeah.
magic shop. Her little cry for help, apparently.
All right.
That's one of those things that will come back in future episodes and be a major plot point. But back to Buffy in this episode.
Well, can we start at the start where she has a little moment with Spike in the basement?
Oh yeah, there's this sort of growing relationship with her and Spike.
He says something about, oh, do you want
a bit of rough and tumble?
rough and tumble? And she kind of freezes there for a moment, but doesn't seem repulsed by it.
Mm.
So that's sort of maybe showing her she's warming to him.
Growing a little bit fond of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's sort of a lot of these little moments with just her and Spike. And they are sort of developing this little friendship, I
Yeah.
guess. Like
But it's morphing into something
yeah,
else, though.
it's a little flirty.
I feel like the sexual tension is just building up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he said the rough and tumble line, and it looks like he kind of was looking for a reaction from her, and he didn't really get one.
Yeah.
So you could tell
He didn't get the ew reaction that
like, oh, piss off, you.
that he would have normally, like in the past, if he had have said that, she'd be like, ew, disgusting.
Yeah, but she didn't say
She
anything.
didn't say anything this time.
She just kind of
Or
looked at him a little bit, and
And then he's like, as in patrolling.
Feel like a bit of the rough and tumble.
What?
Me, you, patrolling. Hello.
Oh. I should stay.
Now, back to what I was saying. Buffy in this episode is again putting a lot of nearly all the responsibility on Giles, and not really accepting her role as her guardian to Dawn.
it looks like he's getting a bit shitty with it now.
Yeah, and it kind of comes to the forefront in this episode because she is just like, oh, he'll take care of it. Like,
Yeah, Charles, can you take care of this?
yeah,
Like,
it's just.
really? Do I?
Yeah, like he's just like, I don't want to be the parental figure in this scenario anymore. And and the pressures that Buffy faces as a parental figure are significant, and this episode shows how difficult it is for her to balance everything. The fact that she also struggles to keep Dawn safe while also trying to manage her own life. Like it's still like, I don't know why it bugs me so much that Giles gets pissy with her putting these responsibilities of Dawn on her, because she is the Slayer and danger is coming for her constantly. So it does kind of make Dawn a bit of a target.
Yeah. Everyone around her is a target.
Yeah. But you would think like possibly the best thing that they could do is actually send her to her father. Like get her out of the picture. Like get her away from...
Guy she's never met.
Well, she has met him, but like she really shouldn't be left in the care of Buffy, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a fair statement, yeah.
But it is Buffy's attachments to people that make her a good Slayer.
Damned if you do, damned if you
Damned
don't.
if you do, damned if you don't, exactly.
Alright.
But like, as I said, like looking after a teenager is a very big responsibility that obviously Buffy is not prepared for because she is still a
I was
teenager
gonna say,
herself.
is she a teenager herself?
Like you've got a teenager looking after a teenager.
She's 19, I think, is she meant to be?
I think she's about 20 now.
Okay.
Or possibly. I don't know. The whole how long she was dead for kind of throws it out. So,
Yeah. Wow, I mean, it's only 3 to 6 months, so 19, 20, yeah, not that big of a deal.
yeah. All right. Another plot point is Xander finally announces that
Comes out.
comes out saying that
They're engaged.
that
He's
human
gonna marry.
anatomy.
He's gonna marry that girl one day. Now,
Ew. Yeah.
now that was a weird scene because I know from the comics that they actually end up together.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether that was like I mean, obviously it wasn't foreshadowing of that, and it was meant to be the misdirection of Buffy thinking, you know, you're looking at Dawn saying that, not realizing his girlfriend is standing right next to her. That she didn't think he was talking about her.
Mm.
But having known that he does end up with her, I was a little unsettling the way he said it. Because it seemed like, even though Anya was sitting right next to him, it did seem like it was intentionally misdirecting to make it look like he was looking at Dawn.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that, why Buffy freaked out a little bit.
Yeah. And then he starts doubting it because Anya starts, like, Anya, who's kept all of her excitement about getting married bottled up, all of a sudden is just word vomiting over everyone about, about like what their future is. And, and then we're going to buy a house and we're going to move in together and then we're going to have to get a new car and then we're going to have babies. And you have to, what is it? You have to organize for children. Otherwise they walk all over your life. And saying, I didn't want a June wedding because they're the ones that I used to always get called on for vengeance. And Xander then starts freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
That he's made he's like, maybe this marriage thing isn't just where you have a big party and say some words. Maybe this is a bit of a commitment. And, and this episode also, you have Anya, this is where from now on, she just is obsessed with the wedding. Like every conversation that you see with her, she's always talking about the wedding.
Always a wedding. Okay.
Yeah. So for the rest
Look forward to that.
So there's a lot of her being very, very obsessed with the wedding. And she's the comic relief in this episode as well because of that. The silly girl.
On the roller skates.
She's an angel.
Yeah. She was pretty good on them too.
Yeah, she was actually.
I was reading an interview where she said, she hadn't roller skated since she was a kid. And she was really pleased with herself that she didn't fall over and didn't knock anything over. So, a lot of fun apparently.
So what are you supposed to be? An angel. Oh, shouldn't you have wings?
Oh, no, this is a special kind of angel called a Charlie. We don't have wings. We just skate around with perfect hair, fighting crime.
Yeah, so you have Xander getting these inklings and these little inner fears coming out.
It's just cold feet. It happens.
Yeah,
sure.
And consider, I think we'll get into that in later episodes, but he probably shouldn't have proposed. Like, he proposed because he thought he was going to die. Now, the big thing that happens in this episode that leads to
the big bad,
the big arc, the big bad, the big everything of this season, and it's Willow and Tara's fight.
Yeah.
And Willow's dependence on magic. Like, Tara finally calls her out for it and is like, you never do things the natural way anymore. You always go straight for a spell.
Well, it's even like minute things of putting decorations up.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh, twinkles her nose and,
Yeah.
there it is. But the funny one was when they were at the Bronze, and
well, that kind of that was where she fully cracks the shits.
But I was actually amazed, and maybe it was also a LOL moment because they're trying to find Dawn in the Bronze, and Willow says, "Oh, I could do a spell," and Tara's like, "Oh, look, we don't need to do a spell. We can just look for it." It's like, no, what did she say? She said, "Oh, it'd be too dangerous for spell." It's like,
it was like, I'm just going to blink them into another dimension for a split second.
Yeah, but she said something leading up to that, like, it could be dangerous. It's not going to be dangerous. I'm just going to blink everyone into another dimension for a second or two. And when she said that, I thought, like, she was, like, fucking with her, like, I'm not going to do something that extreme. Just do, like, a location spell like they've used before, something like that I thought she was going to do. Not actually just project everyone in the room into another fucking dimension. Like, God.
And we had already, like, I swear she had already tried something like this on Glory, and it, like, made her pass out and her nose bleed and shit.
Yeah, she teleported her, didn't she? But she's a god, though, so maybe, gods require more power or something. But why not they've used a location spell before, why not just use that or something? Yeah. But the idea of, like, zapping everyone in the room into another fucking dimension, I mean, what could go wrong, Everyone comes back and they're all like, they're all being Cronenberged or whatever, you know? But I actually thought she was joking. I thought that was going to be like, oh, just kidding with you. Like, oh, no. She was seriously about to zap everyone in this room into another dimension. Like, wow, it's surprising how far it actually has escalated. Like, it's been building this whole time, but now she's at that point where she would just possibly, do something horrific like that.
Yeah. And up until that point, she'd already kind of mentioned it to her about the decorations. Was like, we could have just gone and bought some decorations. And she couldn't take the hint. She didn't. Willow didn't take the hint that Tara was trying to say, "Hey, come on, you don't have to use a spell for everything."
Yeah.
But she fully justifies it by like, "Oh, it makes Anya happy, and it's biodegradable. They disappear, and it's good for the environment."
Yeah. Justifying all of her actions, of course.
Justifying her actions, even though, and I suppose the decorations thing's not that bad. Blinking people into another dimension.
Yeah, that's like such a
that's a different story. That's bordering on arrogance, which is what I think Tara was trying to get at, is that you can't keep doing these extremely dangerous spells just because you can.
It's kind of like she's just flexing at this point, Oh, I'm going to just make decorations, Boom, there they are.
Yeah.
So we get to the final scene at the end.
And now this comes up also in a lot of shows, like Rick and Morty do it. It's like where they...
The mind blower.
The mind blowers, where they delete their mistakes. And it is that thing. If you keep... And Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, it also goes on this.
I mean, that's a little different because Tara didn't do anything wrong, so she erased her memory.
Yeah.
Now, that's really fucked up. She basically roofied her.
Yeah.
It's roofie magic.
Yeah.
So that's really fucked up. The more you think about it.
Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that she's trying to change. They're in a fight, and instead of dealing with it, she just decides, I don't want to fight.
Yeah.
And to change, delete it from her memory.
But only deleted it from her. Did delete it from Willow's memory?
No,
just Tara's. Yeah. So that's the.
But
that's messing
part. With her mind.
Yeah.
So
that's like total disregard for someone you love too, to do that when to roofie them like that.
Yeah, but it also means that but it doesn't take away that argument. Like, that's also something it's still going to be an issue moving forward. Like, she hasn't resolved the issue.
No.
But it's also altering a person to be the person you want them to be as well.
Yeah. There's something very sinister about that, isn't it?
And that act that she performs definitely causes some foreshadowing for some much larger tensions.
I'm wondering.
But also it's like a real breach of relationship boundaries.
Yeah, trust as well.
Trust, consent.
Everything. Yeah, well, it's a roofie. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point of those. Because you don't want consent.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of these ethical dilemmas that go with.
And
the fact that she did a spell after all of this, it was the fact that the way that she fixed the problem, she completely missed the point of what Tara was trying to say, and decided to just change Tara to be what she wanted Tara to be, and that is abuse.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I mean, you don't have to tell me to give it away. I'm just curious how it comes up later on in the show. Would it be like something has happened and someone says to Tara, oh, such and such the other day, and Tara doesn't remember it and then thinks it's weird she doesn't remember it?
You'll find out in the next. They don't drag this on for long.
Okay, all right. I'm curious if that's how it sort of comes up, that she realizes
someone does bring it up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Tara's also incredibly smart as well, and this isn't
she puts
something.
2 and 2 together.
And this isn't something that's just happened that day. Like, this is something Tara's been thinking of for the past, season almost.
Yeah, it's been building up for seasons. Yeah, since they've pretty much been together, she's been questions about her use of magic. So
yeah, well, it's more the fact that she has different boundaries on. Willow has different boundaries on magic than what Tara does. And what Giles has, because I think...
Well, Willow doesn't really have any boundaries.
Yeah.
At this
Whereas
point.
I think because Tara was, her mother was a Wiccan, so she's had it sort of drilled into her from a young age that you don't mess with these powers. Like, they're only used in
Is
certain situations.
It's kind of like a born again, like someone's been a Christian their whole life and they're not that preachy on it. Then someone becomes born again and they're like really preachy about it.
Yeah.
So they've spent their whole life adapting to this and learned that you don't just go around telling people their religion is stupid.
Yeah.
Now that you've just found a new one. So it's kind of like the born again sort of scenario, I guess.
Maybe. I don't
Little
know.
bit, no?
Yeah, could be.
Oh, like you've been grown up with guns and you know how to use guns and you get a gun for the first time and you don't know how to use it properly. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a better.
Better.
Yeah,
comparison?
you're walking around the house turning off light switches with
With
it.
a gun. Turn the TV off with a gun.
As opposed to being in a house where you've learnt from a young age and gone out hunting and you can see what the damage that guns do.
Yeah.
Are you some kind of moron?
All right. Well, I was going to ask, had you seen this episode?
No, this is a complete fresh. Haven't seen anything about this episode. Seen nothing.
And did you go down any rabbit holes? And I know you went down. I know you went down a rabbit hole.
Did I go down?
Because we couldn't record because you got so far down this rabbit hole. You were like, I'm not recording until I get this figured out.
So the question: did I go down a rabbit hole? Now it's nothing too sort of complex. It was just a simple because we had the bronze this episode, didn't we? So we get some musical acts in there. I can't remember the name.
And
of the
there's
band
a party as well.
Yeah, so there's actually a fair bit of
Music
used in this episode. So, which sometimes there's been nothing. So that's been a change. So it's feel like a season 1 episode in that sense. More music, the bronze. And there's a song. So the scene where it dawns at the playground in which he first meets the other boys. Yeah. And there's like a boombox there and it's playing some music, some pretty heavy music. Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, I think that's Slipknot.
It's hard to, I couldn't hear it properly, but I thought it kind of sounded like Slipknot. I thought I kind of knew the song as well. So I look at the second album, Iowa, which came out that year. I'm like, oh, maybe it's from that. Skimmed through it. I'm like, no, it's none of these songs. I'm searching the band list, so of all the bands that are on there, and there's one band called Coin Monster, Body of Binky. And I searched that and I find absolutely fucking nothing. All I find is that it was a song that was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Is basically all I find. And nothing else.
And you're like going, it's not on here. It's not, I can't find this song. I can't find it anywhere. I'm like, it has to be somewhere because they would have the song needs to be credited.
Exactly. I couldn't play a song in the background, especially a band like Slipknot, were pretty, not big at the time, but reasonably big enough, mainstream compared to these other acts who weren't. I don't know. So I'm looking at it, I'm looking up, and I just can't find anything. Using Shazam, it's just there's background noise. So I even used an AI program to isolate just the background noise. Still couldn't really find anything. Then I thought, fuck it, let's try Reddit. So I went on to Reddit. I posted it on Slipknot subreddit. Most of them told me to go fuck myself. What the fuck is this shit you're posting on here, Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Actually, no, most of them were quite nice. The posters are up there if you want to check it out. And they keep saying it's this must be this Coin Monster band, but no one can find anything on it. I'm like, neither could I. It's just so weird. Then I thought, well, let's try the Buffy subreddit. Surely it must have been debunked on that. And they said the same thing. Yeah, it's this Coin Monster band, but no one can find anything on it. I'm like, the fuck is going on? Is this band real? Is it just a makeup band? Was it like just maybe Joss Whedon's friend in a garage just had a band and just recorded the song?
It was like those back in the day when you'd go to a gig and they'd hand out the CDs.
Yeah.
Was it just on one of those CDs?
Yeah, something like that. I just couldn't find anything. This band just didn't exist. Just nothing. I couldn't find anything. Eventually, a subredditor on a Buffy subreddit found something. And because I've been writing the way it was written on the Buffy on IMDb.
2 words.
Coin Monster, 2 words. No, it's 1 word. And bang, found it on fucking YouTube eventually. Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't pick it up. It was so bizarre. The Body of Pinky, I don't know. I just spent ages trying to find this. 3 hours I spent,
As
searching
I said, we
the web.
were supposed to record and you were too busy trying to find this
I
song.
just didn't think it'd take that long. And then I'm starting to thinking, is this one of those bullshit credits that someone just put up there that's not real? Have I uncovered some sort of fucking conspiracy? Like this band is not real.
Yeah.
And I think in the end I found a Mudvayne song that did sound similar to it, and I think that's what I was thinking of because I thought it sounded familiar. I thought I'd heard it before, and that's what was really pissing me off. Like I know that song. So yeah, check them out. Coin Monster, one word. Body of Pinky, and yeah, that's the song that they're playing in the background. Thank you. I found it. I think it had. They said it had come up on Buffy before, but the subreddit, but no one could find it.
Okay.
But it was because it was spelt 2 words. Yeah, the way it was shown. So I think it was just some local band or something, no doubt. And they just dragged them on there and so want to use your song? I'm like, yeah, sure. Here's $20. All right, Eddie. Question time?
Yeah, let's
do it.
Question time.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
All right, Jared. Which character was your favourite in this episode?
I kind of liked Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah, I like not whiny. Yeah, I kind of liked her little arc in this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with Anya, mainly because she's the comic relief in this.
Yeah, fair enough.
She has some good moments. Which character do you love to hate? I think it's going to be the same.
Willow.
I think it's when she has that. She says what's a really scathing line that she says to Tara?
Oh, it's when they're on the causeway or something. She said something, maybe I should just keep my mouth shut.
And she was, maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. She says.
Maybe you should just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just like,
She's like,
ooh.
all right, see ya. After she did the silence.
Yeah, where she silenced the whole.
Apparently, she was using Arabic words for
she?
silence. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for silence and speak or something when she undid it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same. All right. LOL moment.
I did like the scene at the end where they have the confrontation with the vampires, and they all come out, and they start having that sort of a Joss speak where they're sort of talking about everything, and Dawn and Buffy having that to and fro argument. You're with a vampire. It's like, well, you were with a vampire. And that was different.
And then
the guy's
and then Justin's like,
he puts his hands up. Are we gonna fight now? and then I think Buffy says something. All right, is anyone here not to suck?
no, has anyone here just come to make out?
Is anyone? And there's a couple just
Yeah,
just standing there going,
oh, cute, run. Yeah, that was actually my favourite moment as well.
oh yeah.
But I also have there's a moment with Spike saying beating him up, and he's like, why are you fighting us? Like, we're vampires as well. Like, why are you fighting us? We're vampires. And he's like, we stay home on Halloween. And he's like, nah, we don't do what we're told. We're rebels. It's like, you're not a rebel. I'm a rebel. And it stakes him.
Yeah.
You're just a loser, I think he said.
No, I'm a rebel. You're an idiot.
Right. Favourite fight scene?
Well, the final one's pretty good. Buffy flipping off the car a couple of times. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I've got the end scene with Spike telling off for being out on Halloween. They're supposed to. The vampires are supposed to stay home on on not Valentine's Day, Halloween.
And just a side note, that car took a nice big punishing, didn't it?
Yeah, it did,
Buffy jumping on the hood, then his fist went through the hood.
All right, favorite scene.
I really did like Anya roller skating around.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they actually showed her doing it though.
Yeah.
Like actually roller skating, because you don't see like below a waistline.
Yeah.
So she could be just like sliding around on a skateboard or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with Buffy yelling at Dawn for parking with a vamp. And she's like, you're parking with a vamp? She's like, I didn't know he was a vamp.
I only just met him.
I only just met him. And she's like, you're parking with someone you only just met. Can't win.
When I was your age, I never chased a boy or called a boy or sat in a parked car with a boy.
What is your least favourite moment? There's a few in this.
I think the Xander pirate part at the start.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of hate it when people do pirate voices, like acting pirates. I don't know.
Okay.
Bit tacky.
All right.
I suppose it was meant to be tacky, but
Yeah, as I said, there are many awkward scenes in this, but I'll go with the uncomfortable kind of the Dawn yammering after she kisses him for the first time. She's like,
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, look at your radio. Can we put a song on?" Oh, I got to turn the key on first, but yeah.
All right, favorite quote.
I got one from Anya and Tara. Anya's, how about you ever play Shiver Me Timbers? Tara's like, I'm not really much for the timber. Subtle. Doesn't Willow say something about I prefer the breast as well? Or was that the last episode?
That was the last episode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My favorite quote would be, what is it? It's one from Anya. I mean, there's so much to consider, though. I mean, planning the wedding, the new car, a house, and babies. You have to plan for the babies, otherwise they'll roughshod all over your entire existence.
Christ.
All right, who gets the wooden spoon?
Gave it to Willow, I think.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Buffy because she fell for the trick that she used to pull on her mum.
Staying at my friend's house.
Yeah, and they all used to do it. Like Willow, Tara, and Xander all used to do this trick.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I think you're right on that one.
And they didn't think to check with the mum. Yeah. All right. Who's the MVP of the episode?
I gave it to Giles.
Yeah, I gave it to Giles.
Oh, really?
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he kind of comes in and saves the day.
And he takes on all the vamps like on his own with nothing, really.
Yeah.
He just punches him.
Yeah.
I don't remember him having a stake, to be honest.
I think he just had a cross or something.
Did he? I don't even think he had that. I think he had
I thought
nothing.
he had a cross.
I keep thinking he had a cross, but I don't remember him using it. Yeah, I don't think he did.
Yeah. All right. What do you rate this episode out of 10?
I gave it 4 Letterman jackets.
I gave this 5 out of 10. Well, I was going to say red herring plot twist, but then we watched that episode of Rick and Morty, so maybe I should call it, what was it,
Misdirection.
Misdirection?
Yeah, misdirection. Yes.
A misdirection plot twist?
Or Mr. Direction.
Mr. Direction?
No, actually, no, misdirection works better, doesn't it?
Yeah, misdirection.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm done.
All right. I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. I mean, you can
is
go
that,
and I
is
can
that
get
going to be a
going.
very short podcast?
No. Yeah. All right. So nothing else to add in, Eddie?
I'm trying to think. There's not really much.
No.
As I said, this episode isn't really it's not a groundbreaking episode. It's not everyone's favourite episodes, but it's not an episode you can skip.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, let's just wrap this up, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed listening to us tonight. We are Nerd Subculture. My name is Jared.
I'm Edwina.
And, yeah, that's it.
Well, where can we find us?
Where can we find us?
Yes.
On the internet.
You can find us on the internet.
Yeah.
Where on the internet might you find us?
On Google.
Well, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X. There is a Facebook page. And if you want to help out the podcast, you can follow the link tree on the socials to our merch store.
Yeah, sure. Check it all out. Sounds like fun. Till next time, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
You're a little late. I steal all the time.